People think the key to successful property investing is buying the right house in the right area. It's not. It's about avoiding these 5 mistakes that I'm about to run through with you. And if you stick around to the end, I will actually tell you a 6th that caught me out and cost me £3,000 before I even picked up the keys to my first investment property. So I'll go straight in with the first one, and that is, and I am 100% guilty of this, buying on emotion instead of the numbers. So if I go back 15 years ago, me and my partner bought our first house, a lovely little 3-bedroom terrace. We spent 4 happy years there, sold it, moved on. Fast forward 10 years, the house next door but one came up for sale via auction. I, without the second thought, put in a bid, a successful bid. A few weeks down the line, the lender that we were using at the time wanted a copy of the house insurance. When I went to get it, I suddenly remembered the house is smack in the middle of a floodplain. It cost an absolute fortune. So that added thousands to the expense, to the on costs and the initial expense that I hadn't factored in. So that is just one way how you can get caught out on buying with emotion. To be fair, it worked out okay in the end. We still sold it, we made a profit. Perhaps not as much as we could have done, but we did. But that is definitely the first one that's caught me out, and that is buying on emotion instead of the figures. The second one is underestimating your refurb costs. So I'm probably guilty of the opposite to this, which I think still costs you money and probably costs you opportunity more than money. I overestimate them. Just take an expert round, and I always felt a little bad taking people round after we'd put the offer in. You felt like you were wasting people's time, vendors' time, the agent's time. It's what they expect, it's what they're there for. Certainly with the agents, it's what they're paid for. Just take your team round there, just take your sparky round there, take your plumber round there, take your builder round there. They've got a far more of a better idea than what you have. They know how the costs are fluctuating at the moment. You know, every month things cost more. They'll know that, so they'll be able to guide you in the right direction, and you can factor that into the deal so you can make sure that you make an informed decision. Mistake number 3 is paying too much. Never get into a bidding war. It's easily done when you get outbid on a property that you've done the numbers on, you've put some work into, to go along, offer an extra £5,000-10,000. Do not do it, just walk away. There'll be other opportunities that come your way. Don't worry about it. The money, the profit in an investment property is made in the purchase price, not the sale price. Just walk away, do not get into a bidding war. Number 4 is work out what your exit is going to be before you purchase. Now this is another one that I am very much guilty of. I purchased our first investment property with the mindset of buy, refurbish, refinance. So we were going to keep it, we were going to refinance it, we were going to rent it out, and halfway through we changed our minds. We decided to sell it, so we just did it as a straightforward flip. That does have consequences in the decisions that you make throughout the refurb. Financial, well, every decision in property has a price tag. So it did cost money. It costs in the finishes that how much you're going to spend on certain things, how much you're going to have done. So just make sure that before you sign on the dotted line, you've got your exit strategy planned. So the 5th thing is the holding costs. So holding costs are the costs that you incur all the while that you own the property. So if you've borrowed money against it, that will be interest to the bank, it will be electricity and gas, it will be council tax. So on my first investment, something I did get stung on, and it didn't even cross my mind. So the property had been vacant for more than a year, and the council where I live, or where the property was, as many of them do, charge a premium for empty properties. So what I didn't realise was that although I knew full well that now, even though the property was being renovated, it would accrue full council tax, I was being charged 100% premium on top of that. So I was paying 200% council tax. And that was a cost that I hadn't even dreamt of. And that was because I didn't ask the question. So what I should have done was certainly asked the agent that was handling the auction sale. I could have asked the solicitor to ask the vendor solicitor, or I could have contacted the council directly. And that would have saved me probably, I would say, £3,000 nearly in extra payments that we didn't factor in. So the extra little point, the sixth mistake if you like, I thought when I bought my first investment property that I could do it on my own, so I didn't take the advice of a broker. I approached lenders directly. We were using bridging finance for that particular purchase. I approached the lender directly, completely the wrong kind of lender. They charged us extortionate valuation fees, arrangement fees. They moved the goalposts throughout the sale, and bearing in mind it was an auction, so it was time critical. We ended up having to go to a broker after all in the end and pay the fees for the original lender. We paid actually some legal fees for them as well. So that was £3,000 that we'd lost before we even picked up the keys to the house, which really does set you on the back foot. But when you've lost that much money, or before you've picked up the keys, it really can make a big difference. So the key takeaways from all those mistakes is to get your numbers bang on before you make an offer and before you part with any cash. If you need a hand, I have developed a portal. It's called Willow's Deals. I'll put a link in the description below. Feel free to use it. It's got a comprehensive calculator. It will tell you everything you need to know to the last penny. It is invaluable. Please feel free to use it, and I hope it saves you some money that I didn't. So also, I'd like you to pop into the comments below which one of those 5 or 6 mistakes do you think is the worst, and also let me know which ones you've had. Cheers.